is Andy. You're having a sleepover with your best friend, Danny. We need Danny. Who wants to be Danny? Danny, anybody? You, Danny, come on! What's your name? Hi, Brooke. How are you? Hi. Brooke, that's Brookie. Was that good on you, Brookie? You're going to be Danny, right? Danny. You have any sleep over your best friend Danny's house? You both eaten way too much junk food, watched way too many horror movies, and jumped on Danny's bed until it collapsed. Now, completely exhausted, you've both fallen asleep on his bedroom floor with the light on. You were worried for a minute there, weren't you? With the light on. So far, so good. There are only a couple of hours until sunrise. What could possibly go wrong? Well, that all depends on you, guys. In this story, the decisions are yours. Good luck, sweet dreams, and whatever you do, be careful. And be careful, because if you get it wrong, and at the end of the chapter you choose the wrong one to read, and you die, then that's it. I'll stop reading, you go back to school and do maths. So don't get it wrong. It's important that you choose the right one to read. Here we go, chapter 1. So this is you, Dan. It's all about you. You are awoken by a noise. You open your eyes and see Danny stumbling around the room. He has his arms straight out in front of him and his eyes are shut. He's sleepwalking. Your first thought is that you should wake him up so he doesn't hurt himself, but then you remember Danny once told you that it's very dangerous to wake a sleepwalker because the shock and confusion of being woken up mid-sleepwalk could kill him. Decision time. If you try to get up, Andy. If you try to wake him up, go to 2. If you don't try to wake him up, go to 3. 2 or 3? 2, 3? Okay, I'll read 2. Remember, if you die, we go home, that's it, it's all over. Chapter 2. You call Danny's name. He doesn't respond. You get up and shake him roughly by the shoulder. He blinks, clutches his chest, and then falls to the floor. He dies of a shock-induced heart attack. You idiot. You thought Danny's parents were going to be mad about the broken bed, but imagine how they'll be when they find out you've broken Danny. You decide to go home early and hope that nobody realises it was your fault. You get dressed, you climb out of the bedroom window and jump into the garden bed below. Uh-oh, bad move. You seem to have forgotten that Danny's bedroom is on the 2nd floor. You fall through the air and you are impaled on a giant cactus. It hurts. A lot. You die! Well, that's no good. You chose the wrong one. Okay, I'll give you a chance. If that's what happens, if you die, that's it. It's all over, no more chances. I'll go to 3 and see what happens. But trust me, if you choose the wrong one from now on, it's all over. Chapter 3. You watch as Danny, still fast asleep, stumbles around the room a bit more, and then he walks out of the room. You get up and follow him. He walks down the hall. He walks down the hall, into the kitchen, and heads towards the fridge. Typical Danny, you think. Even when he's asleep, he's hungry. But to your surprise, he walks right past the fridge and heads towards the key rack just inside the back door. He reaches up and takes down a set of car keys. Then he lets himself out and walks towards the garage. Uh-oh. Sleepwalking is one thing, but sleep driving is quite another. You run after him. He enters the garage, opens the car door. Let's make that the car. Make that the car over there. You run after him. He enters the garage, opens the car, and gets into the driver's seat and starts the engine. Boom, boom, boom. Decision time. If you figure that sleep driving is probably going to be more hazardous to Danny's health than the risk of waking him up while sleepwalking, and so decide to wake him up, go to 4. If you decide that waking him up is too risky and that a true friend would get into the passenger seat and help him drive, after all, his eyes are shut, go to 5. What do you think, guys? I'll give you a clue. I'll read the last line of 4. You die! That's right, it's 5 it is. Chapter 5, you get into the car with Danny and close the passenger side door. Danny wastes no time. He plants his foot on the accelerator and takes off down the driveway at an incredible speed. Yes! You barely have enough time to wrench the steering wheel down hard, right, to avoid smashing into the house up on the opposite side of the road, which is good. But it's also bad, because now you're travelling down the road at 80 kilometres an hour, and you're in a 50-kilometre zone. You see a cat crossing the road in front of you. You are about to swerve to the right to avoid running it over, when you realise that to do so would mean an almost certain head-on collision with a petrol tanker coming the other way. To swerve or not to swerve? That is the question. If you choose to run over the cat rather than risk a head-on collision, go to 6. If you choose to avoid running over the cat by swerving onto the other side of the road, go to 7. You choose. 6. 6? This is 6. I'll give you a clue. And you read the last line of 6. This is the last line of 6. You die! 7, shall we go 7? Okay, 7. Chapter 7. You swerve to avoid running over the cat, but now you're heading straight towards the petrol tanker. But only for a few minutes, because luckily the tanker swerves onto the other side of the road to avoid you. Unfortunately, though, it runs over the cat. You pass the tanker and then steer the car back onto the right side of the road and continue hurtling at breakneck speed through the night. The road curves up ahead. There are 2 large glass-fronted shops on the corner. One is called Bras and Stuff. You've never been in there, but you're guessing they sell bras and stuff. Next to it is a shop called Lights and Stuff. In the window is an impressive chandelier with a $17,500 price tag. Unfortunately, however, you're travelling too fast to take the corner. You're going to crash into one of the shops, there's no question about that. The question is, which one are you going to choose to smash into? If you choose to smash into bras and stuff, go to 8. If you choose to smash into lights and stuff, go to 9. The car crashes into lights and stuff, drives through and out the other side, but you're travelling much slower than before. There's a grinding noise coming from the back of the car. You turn around in your seat to see that the noise is the sound of a $17,500 crystal chandelier being dragged along the road. It's attached to the car's bumper and is leaving a sparkling trail of crystal pieces behind you. An easy trail for the police to follow, and at this speed, you're an easy catch. On the other hand, the fact that you're travelling a little slower is good, because you're approaching a 24-hour drive-through fast burger restaurant, and in all this excitement has made you hungry. If you climb out of the car and unhook the chandelier from the bumper, go to 10. If you leave the chandelier where it is just for a little while longer and use the car phone to call through an order to Fast Burger, go to 11. Let's let the grown-ups decide. What do you think, guys? 10 or 11? What do you think? Well, hang on. Would you like a clue? Let's tell them the last line of 10, shall we? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. 11 it is. Good choice, counsellor. You could be dead meat in this town, believe me. Chapter 11. You order burgers, fries and shakes for 2 and hope that Fast Burger are as fast as they like to boast. Luckily, they are. You help Danny steer the car and drive into the drive-thru and without stopping, hurl a handful of coins at the cashier, and he hurls burgers, fries and shakes into the car. There's not much left of the chandelier now, and the car is picking up speed again. You shove a burger into your mouth with your left hand while helping Danny steer and eat with your right. Excellent work. You know, this isn't such a bad little adventure after all, do you think? Your mum never lets you have Fast Burger. She says it's an artery-clogging, heart-attack food. Seconds after you have this thought, you break out in a cold sweat and feel a strange pain in your chest that you've never felt before. Decision time. If you panic and seek medical help, go to 12. If you ignore the pain and keep steering, go to 13. Together, 1, 2, 3. Chapter 13. You ignore the pain. Ignore. You've just taken a hit of artery-clogging, saturated fat.
close your eyes for a moment, but that moment is long enough for Danny to drive the car off the road and down the banks of a lake. The next thing you know, you're speeding towards a boat ramp. You brace yourself. The car hits the water and rapidly begins to sink. Danny, however, keeps his foot planted on the accelerator and, incredibly, the car continues driving along the bottom of the lake. You figure that you'll probably be okay as long as you keep the windows closed. But then you see Danny reaching to open his window. You try to stop him by pressing the window lock button before he can open his window. Decision time. If you're too slow and Danny opens his window before you can press the window lock button, you go to 14. If you manage to press the window lock button before Danny can open his window, go to 15. Shall we just read 14 anyway? Alright, no before this one. Chapter 15. Danny tries to open his window, but he can't because it's locked. You drive safely across the bottom of the lake and end up out the other side. The good news is that you've lost the chandelier and the car is going fast again. The bad news is that you are now going so fast that you're driving at twice the legal speed limit, right past a police car. The police come after you, lights flashing and sirens blaring. You figure that it would be a good idea to pull over, but you can't because Danny has his foot pressed hard on the accelerator. You go over a small rise and see a dirt road off to your left. If you're quick, you can take the road and give the police the slip. You take your chance. You are now heading down a dark, spooky road over hungry branches. In the distance is a sign. It says, "Cemetery entrance ahead." Decision time. If you're freaked out by cemeteries, so you try to turn the car around and head back to the highway, that's 16. If you're creeped out by cemeteries but would rather drive into one than risk getting caught by the police, go to 17. You choose. I'll read the last line of 17. Sorry, of 16. The last line of 16. It goes like this. It is your last thought. You die! Chapter 17. You drive into the cemetery. A bunch of brain-eating zombies are having a dance party. You smash right into the middle of them. They scatter like bowling pins, except for one who ends up on the roof of your car. He's banging on the roof yelling, "Brains! Brains! I want brains!" The poor zombie doesn't realise that between the pair of you, Danny and yourself barely have 2 brain cells to rub together. But without ripping your head off, he can't possibly know that. So he keeps pounding and pounding and yelling for brains while you keep swerving the car from side to side, trying to shake him loose. If you manage to shake the zombie loose, go to 18. If the zombie stays on the car, go to 19. 19, absolutely, because what does it say at the end of 18? Despite your swerving, you can't shake the zombie off the roof of the car. Eventually you end up back on the main road. There is a 24-hour automatic car wash up ahead, which is exactly what you need. You steer into the car wash and the car locks into position on the conveyor belt. But there are 3 settings to choose from: regular wash, super wash, and brain-eating zombie wash removal wash. If you select regular wash, go to 20. If you select super wash, go to 21. If you select brain-eating zombie removal wash, go to 22. I'm so glad you said that. You select brain-eating zombie removal wash. Congratulations on your fine choice. It costs a little extra, but given that you've got a brain-eating zombie on the roof of your car, it's definitely worth it. The car is plastered by water, detergent brushes, zombie lasers, and rotating blades. The zombie gets drenched, cleaned, decapitated, and washed off the roof of your car. You steer the car out of the car wash and back onto the road. Despite this having been the most terrifying ride of your life, you're actually feeling pretty good. Not only did you get rid of that pesky, brain-eating zombie, but the car is now really clean. Perhaps Danny's parents will be so pleased with the car, they'll be prepared to overlook the broken bed. That's if you ever make it back alive. And that is a big if, because now you're heading towards a bridge. It's one of those bridges that goes up to let tall ships pass through. And as you approach, it starts to rise. The lights are flashing and the boom gate is down, but Danny is still driving really fast. You smash through the gate and you're rocketing up the bridge at a 45-degree angle. The G-force is amazing. You fuel as they take off. Actually, you don't have to guess at all, because you really are taking off. The car runs out of the bridge but continues travelling up, leaving the bridge and the ground. Decision time. If the car continues heading upwards, go to 23. If the car starts falling back towards the ground, go to 24. And the last line, 23?
What do you reckon? What do you reckon the last line of 23 is?
Chapter 24. Up, you go. But it's blocked because the car starts falling down. But you know, that's not such a bad thing. You can see your neighbourhood. And look, there's Daddy's house. Amazingly, you managed to steer the car back down through the air and bring it in for a perfect landing in Daddy's driveway. And incredibly, at exactly that moment, Daddy puts his foot on the brake and brings the car to a gentle stop right in the garage. He switches off the engine, takes the keys out of the ignition, gets out, and walks back inside the house. You follow him. He replaces the keys on the rack and goes down the hallway to his bedroom. By the time you get there, he's already lying on the floor, fast asleep. You lie down, nerves gently, heart racing. But just as you are starting to calm down, you hear a noise. It's Daddy. He's moving around the room. Oh no, he's sleepwalking again. If you decide to be a good friend and get up and look after him again, go to 25. If you decide enough is enough and just roll over and go to sleep, go to 26. What do you reckon? I reckon 26 too. 26. This time you can't be bothered following Daddy or steering the car. After all, haven't you already done more for Daddy than most best friends would ever be called on to do in a whole lifetime? If Daddy is so keen to go sleep driving, then it's his funeral, not yours. But that's where you're wrong. Without you at the wheel, Daddy is not only sleep... Give it a go to the car, Daddy. Daddy is not only sleep driving, but he's driving blind. You hear the car start up, then you just roll over and close your eyes. Your fourth last thought is, that sounds like a car crashing into the house. Your third last thought is, that sounds like a car driving up the stairs. Your second last thought is, that sounds like a car driving into the bedroom. Your very last thought is, that sounds like a car about to drive over my head. Daddy drives the car over your head. I reckon you could actually get up and do it. Go and squash his head for a minute. Go and jump on his head. Daddy drives the car over your head. You die! If you could still think after you're dead, you would think, this is the worst sleepover ever. But you can't. Because you are dead. Sleepover doomed.